Let's speak to our senior reporter, Catherine Norris Trent, standing by in Kharkiv. Hello to you, Catherine. Whether it's evacuations or deportations, what more do we know at this moment?
Hello there, Will. Well, Russian-installed authorities in the Kherson province appealed to the Russian government to help evacuate civilians. They said for humanitarian reasons, as the battle in that southern province there continues. But Ukrainian members of Kherson's regional council have said that this is not a humanitarian evacuation, it's a deportation, and they've denounced the move. The Russian TASS news agency has reported that people could be arriving from Kherson in Rostov in southern Russia later this Friday. That news still to be confirmed, but this is getting very mixed reactions, as you can imagine. People in Ukraine earlier denounced civilians being taken from occupied Mariupol into Russian territory, and again that they're denouncing this as deportations, and questioning whether it really is voluntary. What we do know is that the fighting down in Kherson province has been very intense and looks like it could intensify. The Ukrainian armed forces have done a leaflet airdrop over the region, calling on civilians to get away from Kherson city if they can, if possible into Ukrainian territory, but if not, to cross over onto the eastern side of the Dnieper River there, just to get away from some of the intense fighting. So we're expecting more military movements down there in the south.
And Catherine, you visited some of the villages that have been liberated. What did Ukrainians tell you about life under Russian occupation?
We've been reporting in areas which have been liberated from Russian occupation in the Donbass and in the Kharkiv province. And there you just drive through town after town, village after village, which has basically been razed to the ground. They've been hit by bombs and shelling. Hardly a house that hasn't been damaged. And there are still people living there, often families with very young children. He said that communications were cut and they just had no means to escape and became trapped. They tell us they spent a lot of time living underground in bomb shelters if they have one, of course living in fear. A great many people seem traumatized there. They had no access to health care, some of them told us, including women who gave birth during the months-long occupation in the town of Izium. They're now extremely worried about how to survive and how to get ready for winter, which in eastern Ukraine can see temperatures falling to minus 20 degrees Celsius. They're trying to patch up their houses as best they can with whatever building materials they can find. They're living lots of the time on handouts of food and water. In places, authorities are working to restore electricity supplies, but they're also just handing out wood for locals to burn to try and keep themselves warm. They're trying to get people to evacuate into other areas of Ukraine to spend winter, but many people, very traumatized, still don't want to go.
All right, Catherine, thank you very much. Catherine Norris Trent reporting from Kharkiv.